The next couple days we're going to be driving Parks Highway. This 358-mile highway goes from Fairbanks to Anchorage, and it goes through some of Alaska's most rugged and beautiful terrain. We have a couple stops that we're making on our way to Anchorage that we're super excited about, and we did stop at Denali National Park, but unfortunately we're not able to film there, so we're going to touch on that a little bit later.
Our first stop along Parks Highway is such an interesting one. This is Igloo City. It is located in such a remote region of a very remote state, aka Alaska. Igloo City was supposed to be a hotel. It started construction in the 70s, but it couldn't quite meet code to actually open. And so over time, it's just deteriorated. While it looks like a great business opportunity, as many others thought, there have been many owners of this place who tried to bring it back to life, and it didn't quite work. Now its significance is that it marks the halfway point between Anchorage and Fairbanks, which are the largest cities in Alaska. So I wonder what problem they have with coding. Out of this place is unreal. Every window that's actually open is so beautiful. Besides the road being right there, I can just imagine renting one of these rooms and seeing this beautiful view.
Oh, look at that view. Beautiful.
Oh, I hit my head.
As you can tell, the interior was never really finished, but it is surprisingly in good shape, except for when we walked in, I noticed that there is a mold smell immediately. But for everything that this has been through, all the winters and everything, it's kind of amazing that the structure is still so good.
So there are 4 stories to this place, and the 4th one is a little inaccessible unless you're pretty flexible. And so I pushed myself up here, and we are in the attic. And this gives you some amazing views. You can kind of tell no one's really been up here because there's no stairs, no ladder. But let me show you the view. I can't imagine what it would have been like if this place was actually finished and you were able to stay here and rent these rooms, because the 360 views are incredible. What a cool place. Our second stop on Parks Highway is the Hurricane Gulch Bridge. It is 558 feet long, 254 feet high, and was built in 1971 and has a partner bridge that is a railroad bridge with literally the same exact name. And that one is the tallest and the longest Alaskan railroad bridge at 918 feet long and 296 feet high. It was the tallest for 8 years in the United States until it was not anymore. And it's just crazy to think that the view here, if you're driving by or even driving the railroad, which is not here, has some amazing views of Mount Denali.
found this spot for the night near Denali State Park, and it's raining. It's nothing too exciting, but we figured since we're not spending really any time outside in the rain that we would just find a spot to stay. And then hopefully in the morning the weather's supposed to clear up a little bit. Unfortunately, it's still supposed to be super cloudy, so definitely not the best views of the mountains, but it's not supposed to be raining, so we're hoping in the morning to do a hike. On the way over to the spot, we saw a bear like literally 5 minutes away, so hopefully while I'm making dinner, I'll be able to see a bear out our window. We haven't been able to see that yet, so I think that'd be pretty cool. Good morning from Denali State Park. As you can tell behind me, it is still a super cloudy day. Not beautiful, but it is kind of what we were expected. We were just hoping that the sun might peek out, but unfortunately that does not look like the case. We were planning on doing a 6-mile hike with great views of Denali, but unfortunately with the clouds it just doesn't make sense to hike 6 miles. So we've picked 2 shorter trails in the park that we're going to check out, even though we won't have the best views today. The first hike or trail that we're doing in this park is Moose Flats Loop Trail. It is just over half a mile and it goes around a little lake.
We just learned something so interesting on this trail. The only creature that can survive all of Alaska's weather and all of the seasons on all of the winter without a furry coat is actually a wood frog. And so that's kind of the only amphibious animal or creature within interior Alaska. And every single fall, they let all of the water out of their cells and replace that water with glucose. And the glucose then acts as like an antifreeze. And 70% of their body freezes, so they practically die every single winter and then kind of resurrect every time winter ends, which is so crazy to think about. And they just go through this process of dying and coming back and dying and coming back. Nuts, right? Just 5 minutes away is Denali Viewpoint South. This half-mile trail is supposed to give you gorgeous views of Denali, and while it's cloudy out and we probably won't see Denali, it's probably still going to be very beautiful.
Right in between these 2 mountains is actually where Mount Denali is, but since there's snow all over it and it's cloudy, you can't even see it. It kind of just blends in with the sky. We're super sad that we weren't able to do the trail that we originally planned on, but we are so glad that we still came and did these 2 shorter hikes. They were still really pretty and we were still able to see the mountains more than expected, so we definitely recommend them, but we're getting hungry, so we're gonna head and go get some lunch.
We came to the village of Talkeetna for lunch, and it's located at the base of North America's tallest peak, which is Denali, and it's known for having panoramic views of Denali on clear days, and a lot of tours leave from here, so it's super busy. And while we're not doing a tour, supposedly they have some great spots to eat.
We came to the Salmon Spot, which is a super cute little restaurant out of a food stand, and it's a husband and wife duo, which is really cool. And they use all locally caught fish, and they hire locally too, which is really cool. And we were watching them make these patties, and they literally just scoop it out as fresh as can be and put it in a little press and press it down and make the patties. And just standing outside of the stand, it smelled so good. And now that we have this food in front of us, it smells good and it looks delicious too. So we got a salmon patty salad and then a salmon burger. I'm just gonna try a piece of the salmon from the salmon salad. Oh my gosh, it cuts so easily. Look how good that looks. The salmon is so flavorful, and I don't know what sauce they put on the top. I think it has something with teriyaki, but this is delicious, and I think the burger is gonna be just as good.
For how fresh and delicious the food was, it was so reasonably priced. The salad was around $9 and the burger and chips was around $12, and so we definitely feel like we got our money's worth.
Our last stop on this highway is Miller's Market. They're known for their soft serve ice cream and something called a flavor blast. You can put in a flavor in here, so I got a mocha flavor and Grayson got a butter pecan, and it is so good.
So I got mine in a waffle cone. The girl said that it kind of tastes like waffles together, and I've already tried it because it's been melting, and it surely tastes like waffles. We want to take this time to really recap Denali and our time there and what we did and what were our final thoughts on the park.
Yeah, so unfortunately you were only able to drive into mile 15, and past that you have to take a bus. But we decided not to take a bus because according to All Trails, all of the trails beyond mile 15 were closed anyways, so we didn't think it made sense for us to get on a bus and pay for that if we weren't even able to hike once we got past there.
And so a lot of these trails are actually closed because at mile 43 there was a landslide and they're trying to build a way to get around. It was supposed to be open this year, but it wasn't. And so just with the reservation process of the bus and then figuring out what we're gonna do in terms of hiking and all that, it just didn't seem worth it to us. We did do 2 trails while we were there. The first one was the Tiger Loop to Horseshoe Lake to Beaver Dam, I'm pretty sure it's called. And a lot of people go there. You can see moose, you can see beaver, which we saw none, but seeing their dams alone were really cool. And the second trail was the Savage River Loop, which was absolutely stunning. It took you through a canyon, around a river, and we had a very clear day and we were able to see Denali. And our overall experience was super enjoyable, but of course we wish we were able to take the bus and go further into the park.
Maybe next time we'll get to explore Denali a little bit more, but for right now we're going to enjoy this ice cream and then we're going to head closer to Anchorage, and we'll see you in the next video.
See ya.